bad and unwatchable football team. First-year head coach Aaron Glenn was crowing a week ago that these aren't, quote, the same old Jets. And he's not wrong. They're not the same old Jets. Even worse. How do you hire a defensive-minded head coach and then get that much worse defensively? That was the only thing that wasn't broken when he was hired, and then he promptly goes out and he wrecks that too. The Jets have had a lot of bad coaches, but none of them have ever started their tenure 0-5. But given that they've got the Cowboys next, Glenn is in near lock to become the first. My man, as soon as you're done lighting up your team for how horrible it is, look in the mirror and have some yourself. I'm Jim Rome.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
We've got trade wars, rising costs, global chaos, and a skyrocketing national debt. It's no wonder gold keeps hitting record highs. With everything going on in the world, thousands of hardworking Americans are looking to help diversify their savings with precious metals like gold and silver. And they're turning to the top-rated gold company, Goldco. Right now, Goldco is offering you a free 2025 gold and silver kit. Plus, you could get an unlimited instant match and bonus silver if you qualify. Find out how you can diversify your savings, tax and penalty-free today. Call 855-969-GOLD. That's 855-969-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Aloha indeed, everybody. It is Sports Daily on a Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday. Glad to be here with you, Jacob Albrocht, TJ Cleveland. Here we go. It's the midweek. We're almost into week 5. We fully turned the page away from last week and fully turn the page forward to this week. It is that time of the week. We're glad to be here with you. We'll have Shreyas Laddha, our KU Insider, coming up in just a little bit. There's been a lot going on in the KU basketball recruiting world. Shreyas has been following that. I think TJ has too. I have not. So I'm excited to get caught up on that. Too much football for me. We've also got some baseball as the Major League Baseball playoffs are underway now, one game in that we can get to and discuss as well. We'll take stock today of a quarter of the way, basically. It's not an exact multiple anymore, but we're pretty much a quarter of the way through the NFL season now. So we'll kind of take stock of what's real, what's not real, what players are overperforming, who's surprised us, what surprised us. We'll do all of that today as we kind of are at a good point to do it. So it's all coming for you. It's all what's on tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, where it's patio season. Smash a Yumkin pumpkin on Delano's rooftop deck. Enjoy happy hour at WBC East newly remodeled patio, or grab a drink outside, shielded from the setting sun at WBC West. When you think patio, think Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. Glad to be here with you, everybody. Max Power producing. TJ, how are you this morning?
I'm here. I'm doing, survived the heat wave that yesterday was, but don't want to rehash all this.
The heat wave. Good Lord. You're I'm telling you, let's revisit this in about a month, and I think your tune will change. I see you're not participating again here in Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday.
I'm not. I wore this hoodie in Hawaii whenever I was in Hawaii.
Yeah, we don't need excuses. We don't need excuses. We need participation.
I need to take it out of the KFH budget, the employee budget, and just load my closet full of them, and I'll wear them. But I don't have any. And I talked to Shreyas. at KU this weekend. He's like, yeah, he's always asking me to wear a Hawaiian shirt. I don't think I own a Hawaiian shirt. I was like, I don't think I do either.
I mean, there's an easy solution for that. Shreyas has more of an excuse than you do. You're now a homeowner. You're a married man. I mean, what are you waiting for? Shreyas, it's a statement piece. That's okay. Thanks for watching us, by the way, for those of you out there watching on the 12 News Connected, on Facebook, on YouTube, on X. You can also call us 869-1240. Excuse me. And you can leave audio messages to us, which is pretty cool, on the Odyssey app. The Odyssey app, always a great way to listen to the show live or after the fact. So glad to be here with you, everybody. We get Major League Baseball playoffs underway. TJ, the Tigers get a win. Tarek Skubal struck out like 1 billion batters, 14, I think. The Cubs beat the Padres 3-1. The Red Sox and the Yankees in that rivalry, and the Dodgers in the nightcap, 10-5 winners over the Reds behind 2 Shohei Ohtani home runs, which is something. He is something, and he delivers in the postseason. I mean, it was a late night game, but is he must see TV for you at this point of the year? Do you have to kind of tune in to see what he's doing? Are you there yet with Shohei?
I mean, I'm not there yet, just because I'm just not there yet. I'm sure if it's the wild card series as well. If this gets to the NLCS point, then I think that's like, oh, Dodgers are playing tonight, and then if they're in the World Series, you watch a World Series anyways. But the Shohei's not making me turn on the TV to watch the wild card at 10 o'clock at night. I mean, what are we, like on year 7 of Shohei? Like, if he does something crazy, it's like, oh yeah, it's Shohei.
Well, it's just the fact that, he's doing it on this stage. So many of the great players don't. Aaron Judge hasn't really over his career, but Shohei's doing it now. And if the Dodgers continue to find ways to win, well, the people are going to watch that. They're going to see what he does. Did you miss many Mariano Rivera 9th innings in the postseason growing up? There's these things that we can latch onto. But the baseball playoffs are one game in, and we will keep it apprised. It'll be another full slate of games today. Boy, I love when you get them all like we did yesterday. The same thing will be today. They'll start at noon. They'll go all through the day. I think it's the right way to do it for baseball. They've got them all on network television. So enjoy it while you last. Speaking of baseball, the Royals front office talked yesterday, TJ. Mm-hmm. It was interesting. They had both Matt Quatraro and JJ Piccolo sort of did a postmortem on the season. And it feels like they're kind of where we are with it. Like, it's disappointing, but you feel good about the direction the ship's headed. I mean, Quatraro said it as bluntly as you can say it in terms of wins and losses. It was a disappointment of a season. They didn't win more games than they did the year prior. So, yeah, it's a disappointment. It's good to hear him say that, because in that circumstance, it absolutely is. And then JJ Piccolo had more to say about the future, and that's the other part of it with the Royals, is that the future is bright. There aren't a lot of organizations in baseball right now that you would look at the roster coming in, with the exception of, the Goliath, the true Goliaths that can just spend all the money and say, I'd switch spots roster to roster with you. I don't think, if you're the Royals and if you're a Royals fan, that's a good feeling. It is. As disappointing as it was to not be playing postseason baseball, it is as good a feeling as you could have, considering that, I think, heading into next year.
Yeah, I feel like the Royals have to be the most optimistic non-playoff team. I'd go as far as saying that. I mean, nobody else dealt with the injury bug like they did the entire year. I mean, they have, you don't want to make excuses, but, it's not the roster that they put together that was playing all year long. So I think that what makes you optimistic about that. I'd much rather be, in the Royals spot than the Mets spot. And the Mets were, in the playoff contention for like 170 days of the year, something like that, and then fell out because they were the worst team in baseball for the last 2 months or something like that. Like, I'd much rather be in the Royals shoes, where it's like, man, like, our offense kind of stunk this year, but we never really had everybody out there at the same time. And then whenever we did have everybody out there at the same time, then we were dropping starting pitchers like flies. And there is a lot to be optimistic about. We've talked about it every day. But I'm excited for the upcoming year. I think that this team's going to be in a better spot next year than they were heading into this year. So,
I don't know about that. I mean, they should be. I hope so. But I don't know that it's a foregone conclusion.
I mean, if they rolled out their 9 best and their 5 best starting pitchers right now, that's better than what it was on opening day 2024.
If they're healthy. But are you 100% confident that Seth Lugo and Cole Ragans are in as good a shape as they were going into last year, next year?
I mean,
they both got hurt. So your top 2 pitchers in the rotation have a health concern. I don't know that it's a foregone conclusion. Now, they're deeper in the rotation. I will concede that. But they need Ragans to be Ragans, and they need Lugo to be Lugo. I love the idea of some of the pitchers they have as their 3 through 5 starters. I don't like it nearly as much as they're their number 1 starters. So I think That's a top priority. Reagan's did give us one good start at the end of the year to make you feel better about his health. So I like that. Lugo, we have no idea on. He just signed a big deal and something's going on there. And then the rest of it you like. You also are betting on, and I am betting on this, that Jack Caglione and Carter Jensen will develop good. But Salvi's a year older. Is Salvi going to be able to replicate? That's a question. Is Michael Garcia going to be able to replicate a career year for him? That's a question. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, but we also have the opportunity for them to do some work and add a bat, which they almost certainly will. We'll discuss that as we make our way through this postmortem of the baseball season. But when we come back, let's take stock. How about a postmortem on the first 4 weeks of the NFL season? What's real, what's not real, and what we've seen so far. It's next on Sports Daily. Albrecht and Cleveland. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
FH.
Welcome back in, everybody. Sports Talk on KFH, presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland with you. It's a Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday for everyone who celebrates the great holiday. We come back in, speaking of the NFL, TJ, and I think it's an interesting time to look at the league. We're 4 games in. We're almost a quarter of the way through, or whatever the percentage is, because they play 17 games now, not 16. But we look around the league, and look, it has been a bloodbath of major injuries so far this year. We have teams, I think, that are good that we expect to stay good. I think we have teams that, that are good that we expect maybe not to stay good, and vice versa, certainly. But it feels like we've played a lot of meaningful football now, and we've probably learned some things. So let's take stock of it a little bit. Buffalo and Philadelphia are the lone remaining unbeaten teams. We can start at the top there. Do we believe that Buffalo and Philadelphia right now are the 2 most likely teams to play in the Super Bowl?
Oh, I mean, probably. I'd say that's probably true. I think that doesn't shock me that either of them are 4-0. I think that the Super Bowl is a different question, but I'd also say that the Bills are probably the favorites to get through the AFC right now, and I'd say that the only team maybe standing in the Eagles' way would be the Lions, and I like the Lions over the Eagles. Or I like the Eagles over the Lions, excuse me. So, I'd say yeah.
Yeah, so right now, Buffalo and Philadelphia are the 2 odds-on favorites. And I think that's correct. The Packers actually are shorter odds than the Lions, which is interesting. The Packers, I think we were all bullish on the Packers until the tie against the Cowboys and the loss to the Browns. Now it's like, well, are they really good enough? The thing I would say about the Packers is I think their defense is better than what we saw against Dallas. So I think they're in there in contention. What about when we look at the NFC? Washington's been banged up. I think they'll get Jaden Daniels back this week, but they've been banged up. Tampa's been a little bit banged up, but they're 3-1. San Francisco's been not just a little banged up, but a lot of banged up. We still don't. They may not have George Kittle, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, or Brock Purdy this weekend. They're still 3-1. So what if they get healthy, right? I think that's something to ask. And are we just totally overlooking the starts for Seattle and the Rams? The Rams right now are 13-1 favorites to win the Super Bowl. You can still get the Seahawks, TJ, who boast one of the league's best defenses, at 40-1 right now. 40-1 for the Seahawks. They have the best defense right now in the NFC. And I think it's football. They're tied with Denver. Houston's defense has been better. So a top 3 defense, let's call it, in the league. They've been efficient on offense. They can run and throw the ball. 40-1 for the Seahawks. Does that interest you at all? Are we giving no love to either of those teams? Because I would contend that the Rams, even more than the Seahawks, are absolutely Super Bowl contenders.
What is your?
But
Are
I
you
think
40
they're
to
both
1?
flying under the radar.
40-1 to win or make?
Win
the Super Bowl.
Win the Super Bowl. 40-1.
I mean, I don't know.
The same odds right now as the Steelers. How about the Buccaneers, TJ? 30-1. The Buccaneers. What if Mike Evans is healthy in that game against Philadelphia?
Yeah, I'd say I'm more inclined to sprinkle on the Seahawks than the Bucks. But I don't really know why. But I think that the Seahawks
probably because they have one of the best defenses in football, and the Bucks so far have not had that.
I think the Seahawks just have so much unknown about them, which we've talked about. They did all this stuff, and nobody really knew how the Sam Darnold thing was going to work. Nobody knew what Cooper Kupp was going to bring to the table. Nobody knew what Njigba was going to look like as a number 1 wide receiver. And it's a second-year head coach, too. So there is a lot of unknowns. They feel like they're pretty boom or bust. And the NFC West is just such a weird division. We talked about this
Everybody's good.
I know. We talked about this last week. We talked about this last week after the Cardinals Thursday night football game. And it was like, are the Cardinals good or not? I don't think the Cardinals are super good, but I think that they're good enough that they wouldn't.
They're not bad, right? I don't think anybody would say the Cardinals are bad.
Yeah, but they're the worst team in that division, probably.
Yeah, well, they're 2-2. Everyone else is 3-1. So
it's crazy. I don't think that the 49ers, I wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers end up not making the playoffs because they're so beat up.
The 49ers are an interesting one at 20-1 right now because if they they're 3-1 with pretty good wins despite the injuries.
I know.
Right? That's what's interesting about them. It's a long shot probably. Boy, what if they got healthy by the postseason? What if they got all their pieces back?
They got Mac Jones freaking slinging that rock around. He's looked pretty good.
He's looked okay.
Yeah,
he's looked all right. It's so what? Let's go to the other side of it. We've got the Cowboys with 1 win. We've got the Giants with 1 win. We've got Carolina with 1 win, and we've got New Orleans with 0 wins. I think the obvious answer to this is Dallas is the best of those teams.
Mm-hmm.
But I would also tell you that Dallas has a really good chance to have the worst defense in football this year. Their defense is terrible.
I just sorted this by the points for, trying to see whose offense has been the worst of the bad teams. And the Cowboys have the most points in their division, and every division except for they have the most points in the NFC except for the Lions.
Right. Their offense is going to be great, especially at home. Dallas is a team. Look, Dallas will beat good teams before this season's over. They'll get a little healthier defensively, but I don't think they're ever going to be close to good enough defensively to really make any sort of threat this year. It's why I advocated for the Micah Parsons trade. It's why this isn't going to be their year, but that doesn't mean it can't be a positive year for them. George Pickens has looked fantastic. Javonte Williams has looked fantastic. Dak will continue to look great at home, probably. And they'll be an interesting team at least, but they're not in the same category to me as the Giants or the Saints or the Panthers. I expected this out of the Giants. I expected this out of the Saints. I was a little more hopeful that the Panthers could turn a corner from what we saw with Bryce Young late last year. And he's starting to play a little bit better. We'll see on them. But those look like they'll be the bad teams of the NFC. Anything else of note? Chicago. What's your read on Chicago and Caleb Williams?
I feel a lot better about Chicago than I did after they lost to the Bears in week 1. They didn't look very good in week 1. I feel
not the Bears.
Vikings, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they're getting a lot better. I think that they're kind of going through the growing pains of a new head coach and a young quarterback and everything like that. But they're still just so talented. Like they've got DeAndre Swift is still there. DJ Moore, Luther Burden had that great catch last week. The Mizzou guy, obviously Caleb Williams, number 1 pick. So I think that they are going to figure it out. I don't know if they're going to be a playoff team. I don't know what their odds are to make the playoffs, but I don't think I would take it. But they're going to be on the line of it, I feel like.
Chicago's odds to make the playoffs, I don't know. They're 100-1 to win the Super Bowl, though. All right, let's look at the the AFC here. AFC is a little more interesting. Look, everybody believes in Buffalo, right? Buffalo's for real. Buffalo's going to win the most games probably in the regular season, at least out of the AFC. Pittsburgh's 3-1. Indianapolis and Jacksonville are 3-1. The Chargers are 3-1. You believe in any of those 4 teams as far as the next best records?
Of the 3-1 teams?
Yep.
So what? Pittsburgh, Colts, Jacksonville, Chargers. Is that what you just said?
That's right. Yeah.
Probably the Chargers the most, but I don't think the Chargers are good enough to make a deep playoff run. I think the Chargers would be good enough to go to the divisional round. I mean, could potentially get to the AFC Championship, but I don't think I trust them to do that. So I'd say
we got to see him play without both tackles now. That's going to be a challenge for them. Same old story for the Chargers. Key injuries have derailed things for them. So until we see that, I think, had Alt not left that game, then I'm going to say yes, they're absolutely could take that step this year. But now missing both tackles, we got to see. We got to see. They now have a cloud hanging over them a little bit. Of those teams we just mentioned, they are at 16-1. Pittsburgh, you could get at 40-1. I don't think anybody, and we can talk about them in a second, I don't think anybody's on Pittsburgh necessarily. Indianapolis is 30-1. Also, nobody buying in there of the 3-1 teams. Pittsburgh at 3-1. Aaron Rodgers looks limited. Their defense hasn't looked great, yet they're 3-1. They've outscored their opponents by 2 points. Actually, they have not. They have scored fewer points overall than their opponents. They haven't played anybody. Their wins are against the Jets, the Patriots, and the Carson Wentz Vikings, which I don't want to totally dismiss, but it is what it is. They get Cleveland and Cincinnati coming up. There's a real good chance they could be 5-1. And then they get a stretch where they play Green Bay, Indianapolis, and the Chargers. But any belief in Pittsburgh at this point, I would tell you that I would if their defense was what it normally is, but it's not. So I'm going to say no, although I think they're an interesting team at least.
I don't think so. I think that they're 3-1, but I think that of the 3-1 teams, they may have the weakest record in 3-1. The 3 wins are against the Jets, the Patriots, and the Vikings without their starting quarterback. So they beat Carson Wentz, Justin Fields, and Drake May, but the Patriots. So I think it's a pretty soft schedule that they've had thus far. I think that was something that we talked about after week 1 when we were picking games. It was like, man, Aaron Rodgers came in, got a win in week 1, got all kinds of hype around the Steelers team, and it's like, yeah, they played the Jets, and the Jets just aren't very good. I think that's kind of what we've seen so far, but I agree. I mean, there's no reason to believe that they couldn't beat the Browns at home and then go beat up Bengals team. So, I mean, they could be 5-1, but I still think that's a pretty cupcake start to the schedule. But take them where you can get them. I just don't think that they're going to be built to last a tough stretch that they've got down this final. I mean, they've got the Bills, Ravens, Lions, and then Ravens again down the stretch of the season. So,
I mean, they're going to have a better defense than they've had. If it's,
even their offenses.
Look, I think it can work. Yeah, I think it can work with Rodgers.
He's manageable,
but like to the point where I do believe they're quite a bit better offensively with him, even as limited as he's looked. But their defense hasn't been very good. And if that's not the case, like you kind of bake in them having a great defense to anything you think of with the Steelers. So we'll see on that. They're a pretty interesting one. Here's what's wild. That I'm stunned by this, TJ. The Chiefs odds dropped after the Ravens win to 9-1. If you want to get in on the Chiefs right now, 9-1. The Ravens dropped to 11-1. The Ravens dropped significantly after that loss to the Chiefs. That does surprise me. Now, I think a part of it is the Lamar Jackson injury. You can get the Ravens as low as 13-1, TJ. You can get the Chiefs as low as 10-1. I would imagine that this is the last week you can get those kinds of odds for either of those teams. So if you're looking for, I mean, to me, of all the teams we've talked about, the most glaring opportunity for a bet, it would be the Rams, it would be the 49ers and the NFC. And then you look at the Chiefs and Ravens, 10-1 or 13-1 on those teams. That's like, to me, I don't care what the Ravens record is. 1-3 doesn't scare me at all. And the Chiefs are probably better than I thought they would be.
Yeah, where are the Chiefs? Where are the Chiefs on that list, like rankings wise? Who's ahead of them?
The Chiefs right now
Like
are
fourth?
fifth.
Okay. So what is that? The Bills, the Eagles, the
Packers, Lions, Chiefs.
Packers, Lions, Chiefs. Yeah. I mean, I like that Chiefs bet a lot. Obviously the history has
like
shown
the
you.
Ravens bet even more.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you like. I mean, the Ravens
crazy odds on the chance that Lamar Jackson is hurt, significantly. But if he's not, we can get him at 13-1.
I mean, I think that's the fact of also, the stats about 1-3 teams, what they've ended up doing. I think that, they're going to have to be on the road the entire play.
The problem with 1-3 stats, the problem with some of these numbers we see is they're baked into a 16-game schedule, not a 17-game schedule.
True.
I just don't look at the standings right now if I'm Baltimore and fear greatly being 2 games behind Pittsburgh.
I mean, their schedule is really soft down the stretch. They're basically, they'll play the Rams and then just a bunch of, like the Steelers down the stretch in week 14. And then, there's the Packers in 17. That's what I'm missing. As I say, every other game on here might be against the sub 500 team. So I really don't mind that. Yeah, you're talking me into this here. I think this is not a bad idea.
I already have a Chiefs future bet, and I think I got him at 7.5-1 or something before I need. So I don't, but I will be putting money on the Ravens. That seems like too much of a discount based on what we've seen and what's coming up. Hell, even if Cooper Rush does have to start a couple of games, it doesn't terrify me because the division around them has fallen apart unless you really believe in Pittsburgh, which I don't think we do. Every team in that division right now has a negative point differential, right? That's weird. Here's one of the oddities. What do you think about this? Houston actually has a positive point differential, but is 1-3. So we can look at the teams that are bad below 500. How many of these are for real? Miami, the Jets, Baltimore. We obviously don't believe they are. Cleveland, Houston, Tennessee, Vegas. Who are the real bad teams and who are the fake bad teams? Ravens certainly are fake bad. I think that the Raiders are probably going to end up being fake bad. The Texans are probably going to end up being fake bad. I think the bad are Miami, the Jets. I don't even know how to classify Cincinnati, to be perfectly honest with you. They're bad right now, but they're only 2-2. Tennessee would certainly qualify there. That's sort of how I've got it sorted out.
Did you see the Cam Ward quote, by the way, over the weekend?
No.
Oh, you'll have to go look that up. I can't say it over the air. It's funny though. Of the bad teams, I'll list these off like you did as well. I don't think that the Raiders are going to be a bad team. I think they're just in a tough division. The Titans will be bad. The Texans are an interesting one that you talked about. They have a positive point differential, but they haven't really done anything to show you that they should be that much better. Like CJ Stroud has not looked good in his his third year, I guess. Of the other ones, the Browns are probably going to be bad, and the Jets will be bad, and the Dolphins probably are going to be bad as well. So,
they'll be bad. Tyreek. Yeah, just looking at Cam Ward, he's not wrong. Cam Ward's off to a much worse start than Will Levis was, by the way. I didn't know what to think about Cam Ward. The book's certainly not closed on him. He needs time, but it has not been a good start. He's taken accountability. That we did know about him, is that he wouldn't shy away from it. But yeah, they've got some work to do there in Tennessee for sure. That's tough. It's tough when you're off to a worse start than Will Levis.
Yeah, I had to make a move in fantasy. I've been starting Cam Ward in our giant 32-team league, Jacob. I had to make a move because Cam Ward is currently the 34th best quarterback in the NFL.
Cam Ward is getting no help from his receivers. I will say that. His receivers need to step it up a little bit. They have a good rookie, but Calvin Ridley hasn't done anything. They're not very interesting. I want good quarterback play. Can we get Cam Ward to be good, please? Bryce Young, some of these young guys. All right. So that's there. We'll take stock of the Chiefs more specifically when we return, as we're looking through the first quarter of the season. Shreyas Laddha coming up next hour. It's all Brockton Cleveland. Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping us fueled up and fired up this morning. We'll be right back.
lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Welcome back in, everybody. Hey, you want to win some HTO iced tea? Text to win right now. You can enter by texting the keyword T to the short code 20357. You can enter once per day. Message and data rates apply. These are good for East Wichita, West Wichita, or Derby. You win a free cup of iced tea. More than 25 flavors to choose from. While you're in there, try out the new peanut butter latte, chocolate peanut butter latte. TJ launches today at HTO. Comes iced or hot. You'll have to get in there, try it. Let us know what you think. Welcome back in here. So we're taking stock of the first quarter-ish of the NFL season. We didn't get to the Chiefs, TJ, on purpose because we want to spend a little time on the Chiefs here. 2-2. That was, I think, for a lot of us, probably about a best-case scenario. The defense has looked like one of the best defenses in football. Positive development. They have withstood now the injury to Xavier Worthy. Positive development, certainly. And now they look ahead at 2-2 to 2 more games without Rashee Rice. I got to tell you, it's probably a best case scenario after Kelsey and Worthy collided in week 1 of where I thought this thing could be. It's very, very close to 3-1. Again, depending on what you think of the Eagles game, they had every opportunity to win that game. There are things to be concerned about. I'm concerned about Harrison Butker. I am concerned about the explosiveness of the run game. I'm happy that they're running it. I'm concerned about the explosiveness of the run game. Did you see yesterday that Breece Hall seems a little disgruntled? Just saying. Breece seems a little disgruntled. Chiefs, maybe listen, this is a selfish statement and in no way reflective of any particular player. Isaiah Pacheco's from the Jersey area, I think. Breece Hall's from Wichita. Maybe swap them. Maybe just do a little swap, get everybody closer to home. I would hate to see the Chiefs trade Isaiah Pacheco, but he doesn't have the juice he once had. Do the Chiefs need to be thinking about something like that at this point? I'm not sure if I know the answer to that. Would you trade a 3rd round pick for Breece Hall right now?
I think so. I would rather package one of the running backs that you've got with a later pick and do that. I don't know if there's any need to have Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, and Breece Hall on a team. I think that would be kind of silly to waste a 3rd round pick on that.
He would replace both of them, essentially.
Well, yeah, he would, but I mean, you do something with one of them. I don't know what you would do. I don't know if you can get something like that.
Rick is stereotyping New York Jet running back, says maybe Hall shouldn't have fumbled on the goal line Monday. He didn't. Braylon Allen did, the other running back in New York. Breece Hall was not in on that play. But Breece Hall looks good, but yeah, it's not going well in New York right now. You heard the Jim Rome report. Aaron Glenn is off to the worst start in Jets coaches' history. Their defense looks terrible. We'll see what they do there. But it's something to think about. Do the Chiefs even need to do anything? I don't know that they do, to be perfectly honest with you. If Mahomes is going to have the protection he's had when they're fully healthy, they need to run the ball effectively, but they don't need to be a run-based offense. They can throw it around a ton. And Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco are still going to be effective in 2 areas. Short yardage, which they have been for the most part this year, and pass blocking. They can, especially Kareem Hunt, like those guys can block for you. Brashard Smith is becoming a weapon that they need out of in the passing game. So no, my answer is no, they don't need to do anything at back. It's just Breece Hall's local, and we love Breece Hall. So it's like, hey, maybe you could do that. But no, I think they're in good shape, and I think they're getting better. And their schedule is going to be brutal, and I don't know how many games they ultimately win. But through 4 games, I would take this 10 times out of 10 if you'd have told me this was the scenario.
Yeah, just to speak on the running game really fast, I do think that Brashard Smith is going to play a huge role down the stretch of the season. I think that this last week was the first kind of, coming out party in a way for him. He had a really decent game with the most touches that he's had, but they're going to have to be creative with the way they use him. Obviously, he's not Kareem Hunt or Isaiah Pacheco size. He's an undersized running back, but just adding that into the backfield of, an offense that when Pat gets in trouble, he likes to check down, and Isaiah Pacheco is not much of a check down running back. I think that that's what Jerick McKinnon did so well. So I think that Brashard Smith will do a lot of good things in that role as well. So, but back to the main topic here, the start. I agree. I mean, I mean, we talked about after the Giants game, after the loss in week 2, the Eagles, it was like, man, this offense is like, it's got problems. And Xavier Worthy hurts, but I don't think that Xavier Worthy is going to be able to fix all of this. And then they come out this last week and do what they did. So you kind of just wipe.
Ravens defense is really bad, and they were banged up, right? Like we've got to be honest about that.
It's true, but I think that even just having, what Xavier Worthy did on Sunday, that would have made that Giants game look completely different, I think, if he was out there. Like, it's all speculation. You never know. I think that he could have made the Eagles game look a little bit different as well. I don't know if they would have won that game.
Absolutely, he could have.
Yeah,
he for sure could have. So it's not him singularly. It's that everybody gets to move up a spot, basically.
Yeah. So
Jacksonville's defense has been good, but they have also played a soft schedule. So that will be a really good test for the offense, I think, on Monday night. There's no question about that. But Worthy coming back allows everybody to have a little more wiggle room. I do think that by the end of this season, Mahomes is going to throw the ball a ton. But it's not because of Worthy. It's because the offensive line actually looks good. The biggest question, the biggest obstacle the Chiefs had coming into this season was to make the offensive line better. The only reason the Chiefs are not 3-time in a row Super Bowl champions is because of the disaster that was the offensive line last year. So that part has gotten better. If we put everything else to the side right now, and we knew that the offensive line would look the way it's looked compared to last year through 4 games, we'd all take it and be like, heck yeah, to the moon with the Chiefs. And that's what's happened. So I think we have to think about that. I mean, we didn't know what Worthy was going to do. Worthy's already back. That becomes maybe a little less concerning. He doesn't seem to be limited at all. Now, is he more injury prone? Maybe. But they'll also get Rashee Rice back. Tyquan Thornton has been really good, I think. I think that's been one of the great surprises of this year, too. Like, those are going to be your 3 guys. And now Hollywood Brown has a role. Certainly, he's still gifted. Juju's there for depth. They don't need Travis Kelce to be more than he's been. I was wrong about that. I thought he was going to be a bigger part of the offense. Clearly, they don't want him to, at least yet. They're probably saving him some. But what's he playing, like 60% of the snaps? And that Andy Reid has made it crystal clear that they are very comfortable with that. No. So I think that we're at this point at 2-2 where you feel pretty good if you're a Chiefs fan right now.
You do. I'll bring this point up. Watching the Giants game is a game that just sticks out in my head. But the play where Patrick Mahomes is scrambling around for 7 sets, like the offensive line wasn't great in the first half of that Giants game, and I felt like there was a little bit of concern watching that, where it was. But I'm just watching that. But I also think that now looking back at retroactively, I think that those might have been coverage sacks a little bit. I think that now getting Xavier Worthy back for that as well, doesn't in turn help the offensive line, but it helps Patrick Mahomes get the ball out quicker because his guys are actually going to get open and not have Hollywood Brown be smothered in man coverage, basically. So I think that you feel really good about the Chiefs offense right now. I feel probably better about the Chiefs offense right now than I did, whenever they were sneaking games out last year and everything like that. I think I feel better than I do, when they've kind of sputtered towards the end of 2023 a little bit, when they were losing games and had to end up going on the road in the playoffs and everything. So obviously there's recency bias in this, watching them beat up on a Ravens team and everything like that. But I mean, when you get Rashee Rice back, this is the first time that we've seen this deep of a wide receiver core since the, Legion of Zoom, basically, that whole group of wide receivers.
Well, it's as deep as there is in football. And it's an offense now that is designed to spread the ball out a ton. I'm curious to see, because last year toward the end of the year, they really funneled targets to Worthy. Year before that, or Rice's only full season, they definitely funneled targets to him. This spread it out offense, is it 23 or 22? The first year post Tyreek Hill, when Patrick Mahomes still put up gaudy numbers. It can still play that way, I think. Thornton gives you an over-the-top option. Hollywood gives you, I guess the flexibility that you're going to do, but Worthy and Rice can be peppered with targets. They can be. And it's going to make this a hard offense to get off the field, especially for one that's been ineffective running the ball. I don't look, it has not been a perfect start to the season. They just had a nice offensive performance against a really bad defense. So I don't want to jump the gun. I think it's still kind of pause, wait, and see. But if they can handle their business, if they can go to Jacksonville Monday night against a defense that's been pretty good, and let's call it score 24 or more points, I think we're going to feel pretty good about the offense. And now you're just one game away from Rashee Rice's return. Mm-hmm. At some point this year, I do think, at least what I thought before the year, which was that this was going to be a top-end offense, I think that's going to come true. The defense has been much better than I thought it would be. Now what are we doing? Right? They're going to lose games because their schedule's difficult. They're not going to be the number one overall seed. The road to the Super Bowl is not going to go through Arrowhead. That's all fine and good. I don't really care when it's Mahomes. So I think their chances are good. Back to the Super Bowl odds. They're 9-1 right now. You can get them at 10. That's not going to get any better, I don't think, as far as getting better odds than that. So if you're a believer in the Chiefs, as we take stock a quarter of the way through, what I'm trying to do is not get too optimistic just because of the Ravens game. I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that I was overly pessimistic before the Ravens game because because the defense has raised the floor and the offensive line, even in the losses, has played really well, which were the big questions coming in. I'm confident in the offense. I think Chiefs fans should be excited. Not overly excited. You're not going to be the one seed. That's not happening this year, but excited about the team and the way it could look if health holds through to the postseason.
I think if they win and look good on Monday night, I do think that those Super Bowl odds are going to drop drastically. Like they could be
big time, like
top 3, like
they'll
looking
drop.
Top 2 eventually.
They'll drop. And I do think that they're going to look good Monday night because I think it's a good matchup for them.
Yeah, I think.
I do.
Yeah. I think that the chase for the 1 seed is going to be interesting. What you're talking about, because I think that's for the Bills to shoe up. The Bills have an easier. The Bills have a lot easier schedule than I don't see a world where the Chiefs are probably going to finish this season with 4 losses, 5 losses if they look this good the entire way.
I would put the over under at 5, and I would take the over.
Yeah, so there's going to be losses
like 6. I mean, their schedule is ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't get any better.
This
was supposed to be one of the soft spots this week, and the Jags are 3-1, and you got to go on the road to play it.
Yeah, true. So I don't think the Bills are losing 5 games. I think that you could get a 2 seed if everybody else gets beat up a little bit.
Two you can put on the radar. We ain't catching the Bills if everybody stays healthy, obviously. All right, we'll come back. We got another hour of Sports Daily. Shreyas Laddha is coming up in the hour. I got to get caught up on this basketball recruiting. Apparently, it's been a thing. And there's just so much going on. I got to get caught up there, and we'll look at KU football as well. It's all Brockton Cleveland on a Wednesday. Happy Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday, everybody. We'll be right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Aloha, everybody. Got another hour of Sports Daily coming right up for you here. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland on this Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday. Glad to be here with you. We've got Shreyas Laddha coming up. We're going to talk KU football. We're going to talk KU basketball recruiting and what's been going on there, because I think it's been a moderately exciting time for KU fans. TJ and Shreyas can keep me apprised, because I'm not in TJ. I'm not in basketball recruiting mode right now.
Yeah,
that's a young man's game. It's all social media and dance videos and things that have surpassed my age. And I'll just when they sign, I'll get excited about it. But it's
basketball. Basketball is the tough one to follow. Football is a lot of fun because there's just so many different positions and so many different prospects, and you can really start to stack up everything like that. Basketball is such a crapshoot because it's like some guys just may not pick up a high school recruit at all. Some guys are gonna pick one up as they, transfer in from somewhere else, and then it's chaos. It really is a lot of chaos. So, but yeah, KU picked up a big one. Take Kenny. We're gonna talk about that with Shreyas for sure.
We'll have that coming up this hour. We will continue the conversations here as well that we've been having. It's all what's on tap for you here, brought to you by Wichita Brewing Company, featuring Oztoberfest, the deeply copper-colored German-style lager that will make you click your heels, grab your stein, and follow the copper brick road to the land of Oztoberfest. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. We've been talking first quarter of the NFL season. We have not talked about individuals in that. What about MVPs, TJ? What about the individual awards? Who right now is out there that you think, you know what, this guy could step it up and be our most valuable player? We saw Lamar Jackson. He may be nicked up a little bit. Josh Allen is an even 1-to-1 favorite right now. That seems too much for me. That seems like that's a bit of a stretch. Justin Herbert is generally your second choice at 6-1. Patrick Mahomes is in there at 7-1. Probably my favorite of these bets. Jalen Hurts, you can get as high as 16-1. Lamar Jackson's all over the map. He's as low as 9-1. He's as high as 20-1. He's as high as 27-1 right now. Lamar Jackson. Jordan Love's up there. He's not winning an MVP. Matthew Stafford's up there. He's interesting, at least. Baker Mayfield's probably pretty interesting. Jared Goff. These are all quarterbacks, by the way. No positional player, and I agree with that. No positional player is any threat at the moment to do anything with this. Maybe Puka Nacua. What are Puka Nacua's odds? You got to go way down the list. Where is Puka? Are these people crazy? Have they not seen the season that he's had? Let me find him. I know I'm missing him. Puka Nacua, you can get Puka Nacua, TJ, right now. Right above Jamar Chase at the most. 250-1. 250-1 on a guy who the problem for Puka is he didn't catch a lot of touchdowns, but he could challenge Cooper Kupp's catches and yardage numbers.
It's true.
In a year, maybe worth $1 on Puka, but of the real contenders that we think might win it, I mean, Mahomes is my favorite, just based on the odds. I agree that Allen's the front runner, but there's no value in betting him right now to win the MVP.
Yeah, my preseason pick was Patrick Mahomes for the reasons that we've talked about that have kind of came true, is that this offense is going to be super deep. I think that they're going to run the ball or throw the ball a lot more to a lot more targets. I think it could be a big Patrick Mahomes year. So we kind of saw a little bit of that in this past week against the Ravens, and I think it'll grow even more. So I would lean with you as well that I think Patrick Mahomes would be the value pick, if you want to use the word value here. Josh Allen, I think the other argument to be made here that I hate that we've talked about all the time is that, they don't like giving it to the guy that won it last year. That's part of the thing. And so I think that's the other part that I'd shy away from betting Josh Allen 1-to-1 to get that award.
According to the site I'm looking at, it's FanDuel, where you can catch a Lamar Jackson 27-1. That probably has some value if he's healthy. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, I already had a Mahomes bet because I was with you. So maybe I'll go throw $1 on Puka if I can get him at 250-1, and maybe $5 on Lamar Jackson.
I think we need to. Let's throw a sprinkle on the offensive passing yards leader so far to win the MVP. You know who that is?
Hang on. The offensive passing yards leader. Let me think about it for a second. It was Herbert before last week. I'm trying to think if it's going to be Herbert now. I'll reluctantly say Herbert. It's either Herbert or Stafford, I would bet.
Dak Prescott.
Oh, right. Dak was an interesting one too. I think I put a future on Dak because I thought what's coming true. Like, they're going to have to throw it so much. We don't think about it because CeeDee Lamb's hurt. They're going to have to throw it so stinking much. Now, their run game's better than we thought. And that deters it a little bit. One of the problems with Mahomes, I think, is that the defense is better than we thought. So they are less likely to be playing from behind or in situations where they just have to throw it. But Dallas is going to be there a lot. Dak right now, you can catch it looks like you can catch a 75-1 on Dak.
Dak has the most completions across all NFL quarterbacks by 23 right now.
Yeah.
They're
going to be bad this year. I don't know that they're going to be good enough is going to be the only challenge for Dak. But on the flip side of that, if they're not real bad and they're kind of in the mix, that may be enough to put him over the edge, right? They're in the mix, even though everyone thinks so. So Dak's probably, I already got it. I didn't get him that low. 75-1. Yeah, that's a good call. Dak may be worth one of those $. Maybe he's a $2 bet. Maybe $1 on Puka, $2 on Dak, and $5 on Lamar. Maybe that's how we attack this thing. Way too early for defensive player of the year conversations, I think. Rookie of the year could be an interesting one as we look at it. Emeka Egbuka would be your leader in the clubhouse. It probably, I would guess at the beginning of the year, it would have been Ashton Genty. He's off to a slow start, had a good game last week. Maybe some value there. Omarion Hampton now with the clear lead on that backfield is good. My guy, Teteroa McMillan, they're not going to be good enough, I'm afraid. He looks so good, though. Quinshon Judkins now that's in there. Maybe some Cam Scattaboo love. Jackson Dart gets to be the starter. There, I don't have a clue where the rookie of the year. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Speaking of rookies, the news coming down officially this morning: Dylan Gabriel's going to start on Sunday over Joe Flacco. Shador going to be the third string still. What do you think about that?
So Shador's going to be what?
He'll be the third string still. They're going to make Flacco the backup.
Yeah, look, I think that's probably the right call. Flacco is good to be there. Like, you're glad he's there, but he hasn't looked very good. So now that Judkins is there, Dylan Gabriel gets his shot. You got to find out what you got in Dylan Gabriel. You probably need to find out what you've got in Shedeur Sanders, unless Dylan Gabriel lights the world on fire. I don't think he's going to, but he's in a pretty good situation to succeed. They've got a couple of good receivers. They've got a couple of good tight ends. Their running game is in order, and their line's not terrible. So I think the timing is good for that. At some point, the Browns are going to have to figure out what's going on with these two rookie quarterbacks, because if they don't like either of them, they're going to be in the market for a quarterback again next year. You drafted two rookies that people feel like are, unless you get, Josh Rosen, unless you want to get into that situation where he never really gets a chance, right? Because Kyler Murray becomes available and all these things. You got to see it at some point, and Flacco hasn't looked close to good enough to block him. Kudos on that fantasy ridiculous 2-quarterback 32-team league to whoever snatched up Dylan Gabriel, by the way. I think somebody did.
Brandon Zinner and I both tied with $3. He got him.
$3 bet. I don't have much money in there. You're making fun of me for my bids, but I don't have much. I blew most of it in the first week. Thank goodness I did. To land a couple of guys. But yeah, Dylan Gabriel is he deserves his shot. And then if he struggles for a month, it may be Shedeur Sanders time, baby. And I said all like Shedeur didn't end up in a bad spot. All the drama around it, it's not the worst spot for him. You can do worse than Jared Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, David Njoku, and Judkins, who looks pretty good, and far from the worst offensive line in football.
Mm-hmm.
He could have been in a worse landing spot. So I think that's an interesting development to pull the plug on Flacco now, but why not? Like, he's really not giving you anything at this point. Surprises me. I thought he'd be better than he's been.
This is the worst Flacco year since the return of Flacco, for sure. Last year he was a lot of fun to watch, honestly. He throws the ball a ton.
Right. He's been effective. I thought he would be fine there for a little while.
Yeah.
So Flacco's down. Now we need the planets to align and Jameis Winston to end up in Cincinnati. That's what we all need. We all need that in our lives. You must see television, TJ. If Jameis Winston was the quarterback of the Bengals, must see TV. Let's make it happen.
It would
Let's
be.
make it happen. Maybe they should call the Browns and go after Joe Flacco.
Jamar Chase fantasy owners would be through the roof if they got Jameis.
Everybody. Who in their right mind would not want to see Jameis Winston in that offense? With the bad line just running around, firing it up. Like, it would be wild stuff. Shreyas Laddha later in the hour. We'll come back. Sports Daily here on a Wednesday. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
KFH.
Welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily here on KFH. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program here. It is a good time to give Crestview a call. Still plenty of time to go play golf on those 36 holes. Check out the simulators for when the weather turns cold. Great place to watch games, great bar, great restaurant. Give Crestview a call. Tell them we sent you here at Sports Daily. Ask about all the different kinds of memberships. There are lots to choose from. Man, this Dylan Gabriel thing. What do you think about Dylan Gabriel?
I wasn't moved as a college quarterback. I didn't think that he was all that great. Obviously, I think that the Oregon system helped him a ton. We've seen so many quarterbacks thrive in that, but I also think he grew a lot as a prospect at Oregon. I watched him whenever he was at OU against KU. I think I watched him against – I don't know if I watched him against K-State. I watched him against KU, though, I remember. And I don't know. I mean, he's okay. He wasn't on my board of being a top quarterback draft pick.
That's kind of how that's kind of where I am with it. It's okay. It's all right. I think Shedeur Sanders moves the needles for me as a pro prospect far more.
I agree.
We're talking about awards. I was just kind of browsing college football. Any award opportunities you think? It's not going to be Avery Johnson doesn't have any, but man, does Jalen Daniels? He's gonna pile it up in the Big 12, I think, especially if their defense is that bad. He's going to pile it up. I did before the season get in on one with him. I just don't know if they're going to be good enough.
No, they're not going to be. I mean, I don't know the last time that there was a 5-loss player that was in contention for the Heisman,
It is. I think that's out. I do think he's got a chance to lead some categories, though, this season. We're going to talk KU with Shreyas Laddha coming up in just a little bit. We can talk some college football. But before we do that, real quick, catch me up on the basketball recruiting. I know Shreyas will get into this. So KU has landed, the top player in next year's class?
Top point guard.
Top point guard, and then 2 other 4-stars?
No, they haven't landed the 2 other 4-stars. Apparently they're in on them, though, and they're making their decisions. I think one today and one this weekend. There's 2 4-stars that KU cracked the top 3 on that would be big as well. So they've gotten the top point guard. Tay Kenny was a big one that they wanted to get and got him. And then now there's a whole bunch of smoke thinking that they're just going to build a mega freshman class like they did a decade ago and go try to get Tyron Stokes, the number 1 prospect. That's a far reach to assume that's going to happen. But for now,
they were in on him, though.
Oh, yeah,
they've been on him a long time ago.
Yeah, they've been on Tyron Stokes for a long time. But Tay Kenny is the first piece of the 2026 class. He's the first guy that they got. But, yeah, 5-star point guard. I think he's number 12 in the country. Out of the overtime elite, which they've got guys, the Bryson Tiller, the Cole Rosario, they've got guys on their roster that have been playing for overtime elite. That apparently, Shreyas wrote a story on this. Is really good. Apparently Bill Self loves the overtime elite guys. He's down there like every week talking to them and everything. So landed another one here.
That's what's so funny to me is people are like, they want to talk about Bill Self being close to done. Like to me, he still has this energy. Like, where does that come from? Where are people pulling that from?
I think the fact of seeing pictures of Bill Self's veins popping out of his forehead on the sidelines and comparing that to heart problems, that stressed me out.
He can settle down a little bit. Like
how Bill Self coaches, sits there and screams at his guys. He does it a lot less than he used to, though.
He does. He just seems to still have massive energy for this profession. And clearly he's out just as hard as ever on the recruiting trail. I've said for a while, I think this will be, you want to talk about like opportunity for Bill Self individually there's never been a situation where people were more frustrated with having 2 returning All-Americans, I don't think. And I think he's embracing this. This was just like, that's an observation from afar. All right, let's go back to college football now, TJ. K-State, we'll talk to Tim Fitzgerald about them coming up tomorrow on the show. Thursdays are always jam-packed and a lot of fun. K-State Baylor, though, to me is a fascinating game. The most interesting for K-State this year, for sure. They look very good. Baylor has been very good. This is going to be a challenge for the K-State defense. The over-under on this game, TJ, right now is 61.5. 61.
Big number.
Baylor has been very good offensively. I'm having a hard time with this one. I am, because I don't think Baylor's great, but I think this will be the toughest test for the K-State defense this year.
Yeah, this is
48 on SMU, granted with 2 overtimes, but it's not like Baylor's been playing a cupcake schedule, right?
Yeah.
For this offense. Baylor put up 24 against Auburn, then the 48 at SMU. They put up 24 against Arizona State, and then they put up a 45 burger on Oklahoma State last year. They have played a difficult schedule. They lost to Arizona State. They lost to Auburn. There's a reason they're touchdown favorites at home. I'm having a hard time with this one. This is a big-time test for K-State.
Yeah, there's no secret. This is the toughest game that K-State's going to play in the United States of America so far this year.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yes,
it will be a test. I think that it's a huge spot for them because I think that they come off of a game where they, got some swagger back a little bit and are feeling a lot better about themselves. If they could go down there and pull this off, I mean, that would be huge. I mean, that would change the outlook you had on the rest of the season at that point.
I agree. I agree with you. I think the win last week did change the absolute sky is falling outlook from a week ago, right? I think that's fair. But now they could change. We joke about this through the first few weeks because K-State just flat looked so bad. But the reality is they are still very much in control of what happens to them this season. One loss in the Big 12 is not going to be insurmountable this year. Yeah. And it becomes this question. It's the same question of like, even if you squint the hardest you can squint, can you still find what we thought would be there at the beginning of the year? They're healthier now. The offensive line looked the best it's looked in the last game that they played. I think the defense, if nothing else, gets to the quarterback. Is that enough? Right? Like, is that enough to mask maybe some other deficiencies? If you can guarantee me that Avery Johnson and Dylan Edwards stay healthy, which is a question. They've each been hurt the last 2 years. But if you can guarantee me that, and you can guarantee me that Avery is inclined to run the ball a little bit more, 10 carries, let's call it a game, I think you can squint really hard and still find a shred of optimism right now if you're a K-State fan. It's teetering on the edge. It is the thinnest possible ice if you're going to go down the optimistic road. But I think you could find it if you really wanted to.
Yeah, it just depends on what K-State that we're going to see. As you just said, that is what the K-State that we thought we were going to be getting in week 0 was going to be. A lot of Avery Johnson on his legs, a lot of Dylan Edwards eating up a ton of yards, and that's not what it was from weeks, 1 to 4. So I think that what they did last week really does make you feel a lot better because it's like, okay, this is what we thought we were going to be watching every single week. Not the fact that they played well, the fact of the plays that they called made sense of what they wanted to do on offense. So,
they kind of did what we needed them to do. We've said this. Avery Johnson, I think they're going to have to design it in for him. A part of the problem for his running is he wasn't doing it on his own. So I think the more he does it, the more comfortable he'll get doing it consistently. But he hasn't been doing it on his own. And so it has been a little bit dicier. And we'll see if that continues. But getting Dylan Edwards at back clearly helps him. Running read option clearly helps this offense. They can become very much an old school read option offense. And it would be great.
Yeah,
right?
Be awesome at it.
They don't have a ton of like downfield receiver threats. So read option, quick passing attack to all those talented tight ends, take a few shots a game. It's an offense we could get on board with.
Yeah.
You just like, there's a bye week mixed in. They clearly had stuff schemed up and gadgeted up, and they had the backup quarterback running a drive. Like they were doing some things that they're not going to be able to do without a bye week. So I want to see that too. I just, as we look at it, in 6.5 points on the road, based on what Baylor's done, Baylor feels like the smart bet here. But I don't know that I want to make it. I just want so badly, TJ, for K-State to be relevant and KU to be relevant that I'm clinging out of desperation, I think, to it as much as anything else. Like it's too early. We just turned the calendar to October. It is too early for college football to lose its luster here. It is. Like we got to have them good. I can't take that in. Can't comprehend.
I agree. I mean, you look at that number and you really think like, man, a lot of value on K-State. You can get them on the money line. That would be I don't even know what the odds are for them on the money line. It's got to be good. So yeah, I mean, you want them to win. You want them to win and come back to the state of Kansas the next week against a huge TCU team. That'd be a really big spot for them. If you can go down and upset Baylor on the road, come back and host a team that's looked really good so far this year. And Josh Hoover, the 2022 Big 12 championship rematch at your place. I mean, as I said, that could literally change everybody's outlook on K-State this year and wipe away a lost Army and a little bit, not completely wipe it away. But I think that, there was a sellout this last week. It was 53,000 people there after the start of the season that they had. So, there's a lot that could be said.
They're not going to be in danger of not selling out games. I mean,
No. I'm just saying that the fact of the excitement level around the program, like it's going to be packed either way. I think that if you can win this game and have that TCU game and, compete in that game, I think that that's going to get people like, oh man, like these guys might be something.
Yeah. But are they?
I don't know.
We want them to be. We've established that. We want them to be.
They're just not. If everything goes right, like I don't know if they're better than the top end Big 12 teams that we've seen. Like I don't think that at their best day, I don't think they're better than Texas Tech. I don't know if they're better than Arizona State.
No. I don't either. I don't
think they're better than Arizona State on their best day.
I said that too. Let me think about that for a second. And I'm big on Texas Tech this year.
Yeah.
But is Iowa State a top Big 12 team?
Yeah. I don't think they're better than Iowa State. I mean, we saw their best day in Ireland.
We did. It was a 24-21 rain game where K-State had an opportunity to win it.
Yeah.
And K-State did very little offensively. That's what makes me kind of walk that back briefly. Again, I don't.
I mean, you think? Sorry, to think about this, like Dylan Edwards hurt his ankle on the first time he touched a football. Like if he played in Ireland of what we just saw against UCF, like they probably would have won that game.
They could have. I don't want to say probably would have. They could have.
I mean, they did nothing. They did nothing running the ball.
They could have. And that's the team right now sitting at the top of the Big 12. So that's why I have to pause briefly and say, well, I don't know that I'm ready to say they can't compete with the top teams because they did in a circumstance that was, put their back against the wall. So here's what I can tell you. There isn't a coach in the Big 12 that I can tell you right now that Baylor is not sitting there saying K-State's a pushover, right? There's not a coach in the Big 12 that sits there and looks at K-State and doesn't think, crap, this could be tough. There's not.
Okay. I agree.
You still have two of the best offensive players in the conference. Dylan Edwards has been hurt. Avery Johnson has not been himself. They're still there. And they looked at the closest they've looked all year last week. So now, can that continue? Let's just say it does. Let's just say Avery and Dylan are closer to what they were last week the rest of the way, which is not out of the realm of possibility. If that's the case, now do you think they can compete with every team in the Big 12?
I think they can compete, yeah. I think that if they play like that every single week, there's a realistic chance that they could finish like top 5.
For sure there is. They only have one loss in the Big 12. The problem is obvious. They have looked bad far more often than they've looked good. And that's not ignoring that. Like they have lost to Army and should have lost to North Dakota. Their bad has outweighed their good tenfold this year. But their good is still good enough if they can find it consistently. And that's what makes the rest of their season really interesting. That's what makes this game to me fascinating, because Baylor has been good. Now you have to go on the road and you know that you're going to have to bring it offensively. The chances that K-State holds Baylor's offense down are low. Like that's probably not going to happen. K-State's defense has not been out of this world this year. So what do you do? Baylor has been able to throw the ball. Baylor has been able to run the ball. Baylor has they have 4 different receivers with at least 20 catches this year. They can spread it around a little bit. They've got 5 with at least 15. So they're going to spread it around. They can run it effectively. They can really throw it. K-State's going to have to get to the passer, and K-State's going to have to play probably their best offensive game of the year, I would think, to have a chance here. And I can't wait to see him play it. I cannot wait for that game. I really I know where it's coming from. It's coming from desperation for K-State to not just fold and be bad all year. Like it's desperation for them to get back to what we thought they might be. I think it adds to this game. Like I'm more worried about K-State than KU. KU is pretty, I won't call it predictable, but we kind of know what we're going to get. Like KU, we know is going to give every team they play a game most likely this year because they're going to be that good offensively. I don't know who finishes higher, KU or K-State or any of those things. I just think we kind of know what we've got in KU. I don't think they're going to go a whole lot lower or a whole lot higher than what we've seen. And what we've seen is a team that should be able to finish in the top half of the Big 12. We don't even know if K-State can finish in the top half of the Big 12 at this point, based on the bad performances. Based on what we've seen thus far, there's a better chance they don't than they do.
We're talking them up saying this is possible. It's probably more possible that doesn't happen.
It's absolutely more possible that it doesn't happen. The most, and that's why I think that's so interesting is because, the old Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying I have a chance. And yeah, I mean, you do. You have Avery Johnson and Dylan Edwards playing like they did last week. You're going to have a chance. You are. And they're going to give people fits. It'll be fun. I'm curious to hear what Fitz has to say tomorrow about it. We know Wyatt Thompson he seemed more relieved on Monday than anything else. And I think we all felt that way. I think there was a collective sigh of relief. Like, all right, they played a good game. Like that was a good starting point. Now what's the ceiling for this team? It looks different, but maybe the path to get to the ceiling is not one we would have liked, but are we there yet? Was that the ceiling or was there still more to go? We'll talk to Fitz tomorrow. When we come back, though, we'll talk to Shreyas Laddha, our KU insider. What about those Jayhawks? Boy, that was a disappointing loss, wasn't it? We'll hit it next. Plus a little basketball talk. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Sports Daily here on KFH.
And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
Max keeping me on my toes there if you're watching on the video stream. I know we're going to get it. We got it. Our KU Insider is Shreyas Laddha. You can find his work at the KC Star. You can follow him on X at SHRE98. Shreyas, we're right in the middle of football season, and we're getting a lot of basketball season news. So let's start with hoops, and then we'll get to football. I've thought for a long time that this was Bill Self's opportunity to go set the record straight, basically, that he's still got it. He's no longer tethered to a couple All-Americans that it wasn't just going to work with, and clearly on the recruiting trail, he's being as aggressive as he's ever been right now.
Yeah, Kansas basketball's cooking. I think if the week goes the way it's supposed to, they're going to get 3 different commitments this week. A third guy is supposed to announce his commitment date, I think later this week is what I was told, and it looks like he's also likely going to Kansas. So he's a reclass looking like potential, but I think he'll probably announce today on that. But yeah, no, they've done a tremendous job. I mean, they picked up Taylor Kinney on Sunday from OTE, kept that pipeline going. They've gone hard after a bunch of different guys. They're still in the running for Tyron Stokes, the number 1 player in the 2026 class. I'm sure he's watching this and seeing maybe he wants to join a bunch of these guys that he probably knows. Davion Atkins is announcing on Sunday. He has Kansas in his top 3. He played a prolific prep, so he knows Darren Peterson. So yeah, just a busy couple of days for Kansas basketball.
Yeah, Shreyas, as you said, they got Tay Kenny was the big one. Finally fell on Sunday, as you told us was going to happen last week. Number 1 point guard in the country, it looks like, 5-star guy. Just what's the scouting report on him? How is he going to fit in that KU offense next year?
Yeah, I mean, he does a little bit of everything. I think he at Overtime Elite, he was like the MVP runner-up last year. He shoots the ball pretty well. He can score, he can facilitate, he can rebound. He's a good defender. He averaged like 2 steals a game. He hopes to be a one-and-done guy. Obviously remains to be seen. But from what I gathered, Self has kind of told him, when he comes in 2026, he's going to take over the reins for Darren Peterson. And, Darren Peterson kind of pitched him on that as well. So I think he's a guy that can kind of give, a star power at the point guard position, right? To go from DeJuan Harris to Darren Peterson and Taylor Kinney is, I think, very interesting because just very different type of point guards between DeJuan and those two.
Yeah, and just in totality, Shreyas, the program, like, how do you the one difference, we don't know, like, the floor. We kind of knew what the floor was with Hunter and DeJuan and that group. We don't have any idea now. So this is normally a time of year where you're getting the first looks. Guys are on campus. So for the guys in this 25, 26 season, what has that looked like, and what are the vibes right now? What have you been hearing on this group and how they're coming together?
Well, I know Self is very impressed by the roster. He likes what he has. He loves Darren Peterson. He's been advertised, if not better. I think he likes a lot of the guys that he's brought in on the younger side, Cole Rosario, Samis Calderon. I think he's much more optimistic about this roster than he was maybe in the last 2 years. And I think the vibe I get is it's kind of reignited his, I think everybody was ready to turn the page after last year. And I feel like this roster is giving the opportunity to do the thing Bill Self does best: play basketball at a high defensive level with a lot of athleticism, ability to run it up and down the court. They're a young team. They're going to have some growing pains, but they have a couple of potential NBA guys on the roster, and last year they didn't have that, and that's an underrated thing. I was talking to a friend about this, but I think in the last 10 NCAA champions, there's been at least one NBA player on the roster for every single team. You just got to have those guys. Kansas has potentially a few of them on that roster.
It's true. Basketball season, late night in 2 weeks, I believe, something like that. So switching over to football, we'll talk about what we saw on Saturday. A whole lot of points from both sides in this one. But kind of the glaring thing that everybody takes away from this one is, man, KU lost another one-score game. Flashbacks to last year a little bit. KU football in the press conference, as you saw, they don't want to say it had anything to do with what happened last year, but is it a coincidence? Is there any carryover from that? What do you think?
I mean, it's all carryover until it isn't, right? Until they can prove that they can win one-score games. I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They lost another winnable game. They should have won that game. If you want to be taken seriously in the Big 12, if you have aspirations of contending for a Big 12 title, you don't lose that game. I'm sorry. Now you're put in a tough position where you can only really lose maybe one, maybe two. Really only one probably is more like it to be in contention for that Big 12 title. These guys talk about wanting XYZ, high expectations, etc. Well, right now this season has started and 3-2. Jalen Daniels has 16 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. If you had told any of us that at the beginning of the year, you probably would have said at worst they're 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well, I mean, correct. So here's the part that I can't quite grasp. I can grasp that this offense is going to be good. Jalen Daniels looks great. But the thing that is really concerning to me is in the 2 games where they've played competent opponents, they've given up basically 600 yards of offense in both of those games. That's where I'm a little concerned right now. Like shootout city every week, that's fine, but they've got to be better than 600 yards allowed, which is basically what we've seen out of their Division I caliber opponents.
Yeah, it's really bad. I wrote a whole story on the offense and their struggles in the red zone and third down, et cetera, on that came out yesterday morning. But inversely, they're really bad at defending on 3rd and 4th down. I think they're second to last in the conference in opponents allowing, I think they've allowed 70% of opponents make 4th down conversions, which is crazy. And that's including playing against teams like Wagner. So I bet you that percentage is even higher if you take out that game and just made it FBS opponents. I think they're 12th in the country or 12th in the Big 12, which is also really bad in allowing 3rd down conversions. I mean, I asked Deacon McDonald about it, and he's like, oh, we're putting them in a lot of 4th and short situations. Mr. McDonald, I don't think that's true. We watched the game last week. They were 4th and 10. They make a touchdown. I mean, not a touchdown, but they have the one-handed catch that comes in.
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple different situations like that. Right now, my worry is this team is putting so much on Jalen Daniels, and the run game is an issue for me. The defense is an issue for me. I think you're just asking for the impossible on Jalen's part. And you're also so much pressure for him to do something that you don't want him to go out there and do something and get injured. That's a fear of mine. The defense has got to be better because it feels like anytime they play competent quarterbacks, they're picked apart. Their secondary is just not, it feels like they play a soft prevent defense a lot of times. And I don't really quite understand it. I guess they just don't trust the secondary to play one-on-one. But I think it's a little better to be burned here and there than to have death by 1,000 paper cuts because they're clearly tired when they have to play a lot of the games.
The thing that we talked about on Monday after this one is that, you said right there, it was like a soft prevent. It didn't make a ton of sense, especially on the final drive, why that was able to happen. I mean, we went 75 yards in a minute, basically. So the stat that blows my mind, they had 6 different guys with chunk plays of 20-plus yards, whether it be rushing or a reception over 20-plus. Why are they giving up so many big plays? And it seemed like it was a lot of yards after the catch, a lot of yards after contact. Are they not tackling well? What's wrong with the defense if you had to pick something?
Well, I mean, to mix a couple of different things, right? Their tackling has been bad. The tackling has been bad for a little bit of time, to be honest with you. I thought it would be much better now that they've brought in a new defensive coordinator. Everyone talked about Deacon McDonald and everything brings, yada, yada, yada. But the real other situation is anytime they've played a quarterback this year that has a pulse, they've struggled, right? This is Cincinnati. Brandon Sorby is good. Bo Perillo is good. But there's a lot of good quarterbacks you have to play along the way. UCF doesn't really have a quarterback that can do that, right? They could probably play 3 different guys, as they played a different.
One of them got hurt last week.
Yeah. And we don't even know if he's playing, right? But Texas Tech, Arizona, Iowa State, Utah, those are 4 different opponents.
Big 12 is loaded with quarterbacks.
Yeah, with good quarterbacks. And I know Avery Johnson's not having a great year so far, but he's still going to be an issue for them because I feel like the way Kansas plays defense is they're so afraid of scrambling quarterbacks that they play this soft kind of prevent zone to prevent, running quarterbacks from taking advantage of it. But because of that, if you are a decent passer of the ball, you can just kind of sit there in the pocket and pick them apart because they're not getting pressure. They didn't get a lot of pressure on Sorsby in that game. They should have had more pressure. And then it puts a lot of pressure on the linebacker group, which is a younger group, and the safeties and cornerbacks, which is a very young group, to kind of do what they do. I mean, it's one thing to play prevent defense when you have Kobe and Melo back there. It's another thing when you have Austin Alexander and Co back there. And then that's no disrespect to Austin Alexander, but they're just not as good as Melo and Kobe were last year or the year before that.
I mean, you don't have to say no disrespect. They haven't been anywhere close to what those guys are. Sorsby threw for 388 yards. I guess I wonder, is there any desire? I mean, Jalen Daniels ran it probably more than they would like him to, but no Daniel Highshaw, LaShawn Williams has looked good. They haven't run it a ton. Do they need to run it more to protect the defense a little bit?
They absolutely should run it more. I think this is a compound, like a very worrying issue. I was talking to Carter Stanley about this yesterday before we filmed that like red zone thing. The real situation is Kansas football coaches are not getting them how to say it, but the run game is bad. If you look at the stats, the underlying stats of how bad the run game is, it is worrying to me because when you look at LaShawn Williams's like stat line, it looks good, and then you realize, okay, well, he got half of his yards on that
9
one
carries
run,
for 39 yards,
like
right?
yeah, or something like that. And the fact that they didn't play another running back outside of LaShawn Williams when Daniel Highshaw is still in a weird injury, like we don't know what his status is like, they don't know what the timeline is going to be like, worries me because that's why everyone's like, oh my God, like it was innovative that they brought in Cole Ballard and Isaiah Marshall. The reason they brought in Cole Ballard and Isaiah Marshall for snaps is because they couldn't run the ball with anybody besides Jalen Daniels or Daniel Highshaw. Like if you can't trust your third, fourth string guys, third string, like their third guy running back, to me, that's a worrying thing. And I'm like just wondering, like, it feels like things that shouldn't have been issues have been issues for this Kansas team. And the running game is something I didn't expect to be as big an issue. Because even when Highshaw is healthy, he hasn't really been as good as I think anyone expected him to be. I think LaShawn Williams is good. He's not Devin Neal. Imagine how good this team would look with a Devin Neal that doesn't have to make Kansas throw the ball or put everything on Jalen Daniels' shoulders because, their average depth and distance on third down is 3rd and 7. That's so bad.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I think so too. Go follow all of Shreyas's work. You can get caught up on the recruiting trail. It has been active. You can get all previewed up for the UCF game. Hopefully a nice little bounce back for KU and they get right back on track. Shreyas, we appreciate it.
100%. Thanks for having me, guys.
There goes Shreyas Laddha. We are right up against it. We will be right back here on Sports Daily. It's all Brockton, Cleveland. Don't go away.